Pisces, this is your June 2022 soul story. This is Romy. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. If you've got a sun rising or moon in the sign, this is a reading for you. We'll give you some insights and astrological dates to support you as you move through the next few weeks. So we're into Gemini season, a fellow mutable energy. And we're going to open up your reading with the world. Beautiful. So whether you like it or not, you are being moved into a new phase of your life. Whether you're ready for it or not, there's a sense of just kind of feeling like you're getting that gentle shove in a particular direction. And there's a reminder here, Pisces, that if you don't feel worthy of something, it makes it so much more challenging to manifest it in. And so there's something about this energy of June as we work to balance out our heart and our mind, and we allow this upward spiraling energy of Gemini to kind of help us to rise above the fray, the limitations, the things that have been holding us back, and to kind of, really allow a cycle to come to a completion point. That you need to make sure you're open and ready and truly believing in your deservedness of the things that you're trying to pull towards you. So we're going to see Mercury finally shifting direct on the 3rd of the month. We'll still be in a little bit of shadow energy for the next week or two in that first part of June. But that should start to open up communication, and a lot of the things that you've needed to revisit during that transit, I think, has given you now a much clearer idea of a strategy or a plan or a way forward. Now in Gemini energy, we are looking at your 4th house, and so there's a requirement here to really take some time to be the inner parent. So you may be looking around and almost feeling a little disappointed that there's not people showing up or giving you the kind of support or nurturing or love that you're hoping or expecting in order to help you get to the next stage in whatever area you've sort of put some focus in. But you know what? This is an invitation for you to be that champion for yourself this month. And actually, I think you're going to feel incredibly proud of yourself if you are able to be the one who is your best coach. And, in sort of a recognition of that, there's a message coming through about making sure that you don't outsource anything this month that actually needs your very particular energy through it, your magic, your essence, your choices, your decisions. Now we're going to see Saturn going retrograde on the 4th of the month. Saturn, of course, is a disciplinarian, and he really determines how we deal with reality. And in your 12th house, we're going to be stripping away the illusions of things. And this is, of course, putting a huge emphasis around your spirituality and the way in which you are addressing this soul journey that you're on right now. We've got the Hierophant coming through here. So there's a suggestion around learning and the things that you want to commit to. And in actual fact, in retrograde energy, when we have to revisit our commitments, our boundaries, we're also looking at our longer term visions. Now we can feel like things are starting to be held back or delayed, but it's only so that we can make sure that our approach is the right one. Okay, and I feel like because we also have Neptune in your sign, Pisces, going retrograde on the 28th of the month, together these two planets in June are really helping to strip away things that were unhelpful and sort of putting you into like an illusionary it'll all work out fine, it'll all be all right on the night. And actually what's required of you this month of June is to get some real sort of practical, earthly, like strong foundations in place for yourself. And the Hierophant says here, look, let's put some structure and order here. Let's commit to things. I mean, Saturn is also the ruler of the world card in the tarot, and with the Hierophant we've got Taurus coming in there as well. So like this slow, deliberate, very conscientious approach I think is going to serve you really well. Now that might be a bit challenging when we've got the backdrop of quite scattered energy in Gemini, and I have a feeling that you're not going to be able to make up your mind in regards to something. Now that may be because there are two very different options on the table. You are struggling with two truths within your mind. But what we want you to understand is that Gemini energy can really support you being able to balance and kind of hold space for two things or multiple things at this moment in time without feeling that you have to completely split your energy or put like all of your focus or all of your eggs in one basket, so to speak. So I think it's okay through this month as long as you're formulating some kind of strategy or plan, but knowing this plan might not cover everything I need it to, or it doesn't take into account this thing that I'm feeling or the impact on this area of my life. But ultimately we still want to see progress and start to see gain in some regard. And so I think that there is going to be, like I said, this gentle shove from the universe that's saying, you know, this is the way we need to now move forward. Now, I have a sense that you are going to try more than once, Pisces, to do something the old way. And you're going to realize it's not going to cut it. It's just not going to work for you. So you'll keep trying that door and it won't open. And then all of a sudden there will be that moment of epiphany, a bit of a wake-up call that you're like, okay, this is not working. What is it that I need to address? What have I not learned? There's a lesson here that keeps coming back around for me. And when you finally sort of realize the truth of that, and it makes sense to you, because I think you probably already do know the truth of it. I think what you haven't been able to do up to this point is resolve something within yourself to give yourself permission to say, actually, I don't have to keep doing that. There is another approach here. There is something else that could work equally well for me. Now, your Knight of Wands comes charging in, fire energy, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, bringing change, bringing some motivation, and again, the desire to want to get going with something. This is why it's so important to have those like strong foundations in place. Now, sometimes where we have that energy of the Knight of Wands, you can come in a little bit impulsively, a bit irrationally, and I have a sense, you know, with all of this Aries energy, Jupiter and Mars both in this sign at the moment, driving things forward and wanting us to just take action and do it now. There's that sort of instant gratification need that we have, but things can go from zero to hero really quickly, and so you may find yourself kind of feeling extra sensitive and in some ways feeling quite disappointed that you're not getting your way in regards to something, and it could end up seeing you sort of bulldozing or trying to slightly force something, or going ahead and just saying, well, I'm doing it anyway. Now be careful with that, because I do think that we have a slight backlash energy, and it's not by form of punishment. It's just an invitation to say, actually, like where the energy felt a bit resistance or it all felt a bit churned up and chaotic, it probably was a little bit of a heads up that that's not the place where you were supposed to be investing your time and energy in. And there's something about you being able to withdraw and sort of anchor back in and come home to your own centeredness that I think is going to be far more helpful to allow you to sort of overcome what I think are going to be like, honestly, like an endless sort of array of minor irritations. But hear me when I say like minor irritations. Do they really have the capacity to hugely disrupt what your focus and your direction is at the moment? I don't think so. But if you are allowing yourself to tap into it, it could feel like one step forward, two steps back. It's not really the vibe that I get. It's just this kind of cautionary observation that's going to help you to be a witness of what your own energy is telling you at any given moment, okay? Now on the 10th and the 11th, we've got some supportive aspects coming in. Mercury is going to trine with Pluto, both in earth signs. And then the next day, Venus conjuncts with Uranus, both in Taurus. So we have some unexpected surprises coming up around this time, especially by way of communication that could be pretty transformative, actually. And for you, coming through quite auspiciously with the 9 of Pentacles. So honestly, some new ideas or inspirations or opportunities knocking, introductions, important people stepping into your path that help you to feel a little bit more self-assured, that help you to feel like I can give some credit to myself in terms of what I've been able to do or what I'm thinking, like your ideas get some validation. And it also brings in the opportunity to demonstrate to yourself this incredible self-reliance. And I think that's important because, you know, you're building confidence right now. And if we are moving you into this new phase, even if you're feeling a little bit not ready, not quite ready, there is something that has turned a corner in your life. And we want you to match that energy because we need you to feel worthy of what it is that you're trying to manifest. It's so, so important. So I really love that 9 coming in for you. I think this is about overall what it's going to take to make you feel more secure. That's an important question I want you to really ask yourself all the way through this month of June. What is it that I need to make me feel more secure? Do I need this person to say something? Do I need to see something reflected in my bank balance? Do I need to look in the mirror and see something different? And then go deeper than that, because of course these are all external things. Now you have a decision to make, but it's not really about the outside world. And this is complex because what it's saying is really going on here is that there's an inner conflict taking place within you. And the projection that's going on within you, you're trying to resolve it by something that's happening around you in your external world. Okay, so you're going to be playing out this whole storyline with yourself, and it's probably going to take quite a lot of dominance through the month of June. Okay, so you might find yourself getting a bit fixated over a particular dynamic or relationship or something that's playing out. And it will be getting all sorts of triggers going on within you. But what this is really revealing is something that's going on within you that's deeply rooted in your sense of value and how we're going to be breaking through that. And remember, that 4th house is all about that beautiful internal emotional landscape. It's about our sense of belonging, our roots, how we feel more safe and secure in the spaces that we create for ourselves in our inner world, so that that can start to be reflected in what's happening around us. Okay, so it's complex, and if you can really take time to stand back and be the witness of what's happening for you, I think you're going to gain some incredible insight about yourself through the course of this month that I do see can be the real deliverance of breakthroughs in terms of how abundance is going to show up for you, or significantly something that your heart's desire is looking for. Okay, so we're then going to see Mercury shifting into Gemini on the 13th of the month. And as we sort of come out of shadow, everything gets a bit of a green light in terms of being able to articulate and express ourselves creatively, futuristically, and really having new solutions. And there's that beautiful sensitivity that Gemini can bring, and a sense of lightness, actually. Now, we've got the Knight of Pentacles here, so there's some strong earth energy, which I really like, because I think you need this for your grounding in June, Pisces. But we may have an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn as well, who's significant in terms of the way that you're being challenged. But again, I don't think that's in a negative sense. I think it's about helping to hone and clarify and make you feel more clear and strong in your own boundaries. Now, he's holding this incredible gold coin here, almost revealing to you, look what's possible when you get yourself in order, when you get things together. And when you do, and you apply that level of consistency and commitment to your own thoughts. Remember, we're all about balancing out the heart and mind, and Gemini is working with us on the mental plane. And again, sometimes that can feel a bit tough for you because you just want to sit in your heart space all the time. But what we have here is a way to be able to start to navigate what the ego is constantly trying to do by way of distracting us or telling us stories that are simply untrue. And we keep gathering evidence of all these memories and all these things that we've done in the past that says, okay, well, of course, this is how I respond because this is how I always respond. Well, not this time. Not this time. You've got to challenge it. And it's that loyalty that you have to what your vision is that I love with the Knight of Pentacles. Now, loyalty is coming through really strong here with the Hierophant as well. So even where we have people or situations that might feel a little bit inconsistent, that Knight of Wands is showing me a little bit of that vibe this month. What I also have is your ability to sort of rise over and above that and say, you know what? That projection doesn't have to be what I experience, what I choose to reflect on, or to make choices and decisions based upon. Remember, you know, the length of time that you've had a relationship doesn't equate to the health of the relationship. So you can have people that have been in your life for a really long time who, to all intents and purposes, you may hold in high regard or deeply want to respect by way of what their opinion or what their thoughts are about what you're doing. But the longer they've known you, the harder it is for them to see the change in you. Remember that. And it goes both ways, right? Even though we don't want to sort of hold people in that old picture or that old vibration that we've been connected to, it kind of happens by default. So we all have to work really hard to say, look, how much have we changed? Absolutely beyond belief in this last 12 months, right? You know you have. Spiritually speaking, you know, how your life looks and feels different, how you look at the world. And if you're changing to that degree, so is everybody else. So we have to have all this extra compassion, because the amount of triggering going on right now is just insane, but it's all here to help us grow. So this Knight of Pentacles says, come on, let's keep going. Let's be focused. Let's remember what that bigger vision is. And let's not allow the inconsistencies of others or of our own belief in self to be the thing that stops us from being able to move forward here. Now we've got a full moon coming in Sagittarius mid-month on the 14th. So during this time, I feel like something really significant is shifting for you. It feels to me, Five of Swords, it's actually, this is nice, it's a release of disappointment. Because if this month we're going to feel this trigger of disappointment, you know, you're either, I think it's going to begin, it's going to arrive by you feeling disappointed in other people. Then as you slow it down, what you're really going to realize, it's an opportunity for you to trust more deeply in yourself, because what you've really been doing is waiting for permission, waiting for validation, waiting for the evidence to see, has somebody seen my change? Has somebody recognized my value? Has somebody been able to express like how they've seen my success? You know, however that's rooted. So the disappointment in others comes back into the self to find forgiveness, and through that we're able to let go of this cloak of disappointment. This is important because it might have inadvertently, Pisces, marred the relationship you've had with people in your life and been such a dominant force that you've not even really registered it because it's so ingrained in that dynamic. If we remove that completely, if we no longer use that sort of confirmation bias to expect how people are going to respond, or we constantly felt like our expectations weren't being met, how much would that free you up? How much would that give a sense of lightness, not only to yourself, but also back into that relationship? So there's something here about your reflection, you know, in these retrograde energies, especially with Neptune in your sign, going retrograde at the end of the month. This is going to be an important time for you to kind of really look with clear eyes, a new vision, in where you've just allowed yourself to be carried by this sort of river. And sometimes that's been nice because it's sort of helped you to block out things that have been more negative, and that absolutely you don't have to have part of your reality. But other times it's sort of taken you away from really addressing and dealing with something that's going on within you. So that full moon is important, and I think that's where we're going to be seeing the shift. You're going to let it go. You're going to let it go, and either that person is going to be let go, or you'll just allow the relationship to evolve and to change, and it will no longer have the same hold over you. Now you've got the energy of strength coming through. You have to keep believing in something when the going gets tough. I know it's like, you know, a bit cheesy, but the tough get going. This is what we need from you this month. We need this. You can't let whatever it is that feels like it's trying to get in the way or slow you down, because there's something here. It's a real test. I promise you. It's going to feel like, see, when you get on the other side of that, you're going to rise in a sense of inner belief that it remains a permanent part of your energy field from that point forward. It's really important. It's like overcoming something that has felt like a really big block for you. The lion brings this sense of courage in, and heart energy. And remember, as we move more deeply into June and we come into Cancer season, fellow water energy, there is something about how you're going to be expressing yourself. And we need to be thinking positively that you can overcome this. I think this is a thing. I think you're trying to overcome something this month. Yeah, you really are trying to deal and overcome something. And however that's showing up for you, whether it's much more personally around an addiction, a pattern, something that's affecting your mental health, or whether it's an outside situation but is still rooted within you, you know, what we're seeing here is that you're being given the inner resolve and the sense of determination, actually, and the protection that you need to be able to take the space and the time to work something out. Now, she's got this snake that she's sort of holding to the side here, which suggests to me that you do have a handle or a control over what it is that you feel is trying to harm or to trigger you. What I do need you to be careful of is that you're not going into overprotective mode, because how can we possibly carve out a strength energy for ourselves if we don't actually go through the experience? So the bypassing or the avoiding is the thing that you need to be most mindful of in this month of June. This is definitely a time to be able to face things. You're ready for it. There is a lighter energy than what we've been experiencing through eclipse season. So, you know, you're kind of forging ahead. And even though the blocks that come up feel irritable and it feels like it's consistently sort of, oh my goodness, like give me a little bit of a break here, at the same time, when we get to the end of the month and you look back, you're going to realize that your progress is way more than actually what you'd initially been able to kind of perceive when you started the month. So we're going to welcome in the solstice energy on the 21st as the sun shifts into Cancer. And the same day, Venus is going to trine with Pluto. So again, very important people coming in, and some rebalancing taking place again in regards to close relationships in love, and also your relationships around money. You know, this is important. We've got the Eight of Wands showing up here. Something is already in motion, and you're going to get confirmation of it by way of an important phone call, email, or meeting that takes place. It may even be that something was initiated and during that Mercury retrograde it slowed down or had to be put to the sidelines, but now it's coming back around, and it's coming back around with a real kind of fast, almost urgent quality to it. Okay, now you're going to have to just again sort of find a way to temper your energy, and also any rising anxiety that comes in that makes you feel like, oh my goodness, I can't do it, it's too much, it's too soon. You can, it's fine, you've got this, right? You just need to find a way to level yourself out here. Okay, so solstice will be beautiful for that, because it helps us to let go, create space for the version of you that is absolutely in alignment with this, that knows you're deserving of this, and that is actually prepared and ready to express and communicate how you feel. And that's really important. Don't leave people second guessing this month, Pisces. If you want something, ask for it. If something is burning away in your heart space, it's a desire that you have. Into Cancer season, 5th house energy, it's down to you to say, I need to create time and space for this. My relationship to pleasure, to desire, to having things that make me feel good, that's a non-negotiable. They're not like left on the pile to kind of get to later. Everything that you do needs to be fueled from this place of deep love and compassion for yourself and what it's going to take to help keep you in a state of balance. Yeah, so we also have news and information that I feel is a little bit contradictory in nature, and that's going to be a bit hard for you to digest. It's almost like, well, what is it that you're actually saying is kind of what's coming through for me here. Okay, so that feels like it might be happening in and around that solstice as we build up to the new moon in Cancer. Remember that Cancerian energy can be a little bit indirect, even slightly passive aggressive when it comes through. So something's coming in by way of communication. It's not altogether unexpected, but I feel it leaves you a bit confused or uncertain or unclear about what exactly somebody's intentions, motive or agenda is here, because it seems to be initially like a positive, but it's laced with something that has a compromise or a sacrifice that, I don't know, it doesn't feel quite right for you. It doesn't feel quite right. So I need you to trust in that. I need you to make sure that you're not agreeing or participating or engaging in anything that you feel like it just feels off, or that person's energy feels off. Now we've got the 10 of Pentacles coming in here, so the suggestion perhaps that actually we've got something going on to do with, again, your sense of stability with family. There's something about legacy here as well that's important. You know, you may be dealing and sorting with things or looking again at that longer term vision, especially around your family's long-term like planning, you know. So I think there's important discussions, but again, bearing in mind what I've said in terms of some of the communication that's going to be coming to you and how it makes you feel. But you know what, it's an invitation for you to be a bit more assertive this month, and I think if you can do that for yourself, even if not everybody can get on board or understand or even align with what you're saying, you're going to feel better that you've given yourself the platform to be able to actually say, this is what I need, this is what I think, this is what I want. And you know, we all have to sort of work within the dynamics of different group situations at any given point, whether that be family or work or within our friendships, and or even generally in the collective and the community. And so there's always an element of needing to sort of find that middle ground. But if you have no voice and you don't say what you want or what you need, you're going to end up being put somewhere that I think is going to be really unfavourable for you and disagreeable to your energy and what you think and feel. So it's very important to stand up and speak your truth. And remember, as we're like clearing out what some of these disappointments have felt like in the past, you're no longer coming at it from that storyline. And that's going to probably be the one thing, if you get to the end of the month and you come out of this period, that you look back on and you'll realize was the biggest shift for you. It's like, I'm no longer feeling hostage to the fact that if this doesn't work, you know, all of a sudden it becomes more evidence in this well of disappointment that I've been carrying with me over a lifetime in all of these different experiences. You just become less attached to the outcome, but very, very rooted in the sense of presence and where you feel guided on an intuitive level. And that's going to be a big difference in your relationships this month, promise you that. So we're also going to welcome Venus shifting into Gemini, coming out of Taurus on the 22nd. And so again, you know, it makes us a little bit more light and flirtatious in energy. I think you're curious and explorative, especially with that 5th house and your creativity and who you're connecting to and the ways in which you feel inspired by the world around you, by people around you. And that really helps to facilitate a sense of progress and movement for you. If you have been feeling stuck or stagnant in any area of your life, I think June is definitely going to give you the opportunity to start to make inroads or make some choices and decisions that at least get you on the path to being able to feel like you are addressing it, you know, even if you can't get the full complete change to come in straight away. So here we have movement, and you know, we've got the bird with this sort of sense of the landscape and the windmill, and we've got a hot air balloon here. So there's a lot of this wind element coming through Gemini energy. And of course, Gemini moves quickly. And so there is something about, you know, as soon as you decide what that new vision looks like, and for some of you, it may even be a consideration of like moving house or moving, you know, especially with that 4th house, it's like moving locations, work professionally or personally. Definitely the energy of different environments can also facilitate a totally new perspective for you. So as much as you can this month, get visiting anywhere that's different. Go see a place you haven't seen before. The new energy of somewhere will really help strike a important balance for you as you're trying to figure something out, especially if you've got a tricky, complex situation that you feel unsure of how to deal with, okay? There's also this sense of like, it's a lot of hot air, right? So somebody kind of presenting like a whole thing, like a whole story, like a whole offer or something. But in Gemini season, it's just like, okay, come on. It's like above and beyond. It feels like someone's just, exaggeration is the word I want to give you. So that exaggeration can be quite dangerous, because if you took it at face value, it could really impact how you feel about a person or about yourself or about a choice you're about to make. And yet they're coming at it from a place of just mindlessness. It's not even like rooted in like malice or you know, any ill intention. It's just coming from this kind of I'm bored, I'm just going to make stuff up. It just doesn't feel helpful. It feels gossipy in nature. So be aware again if there's someone that is, you know, presenting something to you that again feels to you like incredulous, and the way in which you might be sort of aligning and let it influence your reality. You need to be very clear in your boundaries this month, because you have important choices and decisions and progress and movement to make. Okay, let's have a look at your astrology card. Beautiful. We have Mars, motion. Well, of course, we have Mars in Aries, as is Jupiter in Aries, in your 2nd house, lighting up that sense of value, you know, the way you value yourself and what you put out in the world, how it's activating that hero instinct within you, how you manage your anger and your frustration. Very important this month. You know, we don't want to deal with that passive aggressive energy. We want to find clear, beautiful ways to work from a physical perspective, moving our physical body in order to facilitate the clearance and the dissipation of anything that's helping to get us feeling more stuck or just in a frustrated stance, okay? But I love that because I feel you are going to be incredibly focused and motivated toward the progression and the movement forward somewhere. Okay, Pisces, I just wanted to give you a quick preview of my new deck, Life Soul Vision Oracle. It's going to be with us at the end of July. Thank you so much if you have already supported me through the Kickstarter or pre-orders. You can find the full deck preview and details of how to get a copy of your deck if you like the look of it over on my website, and the details are beneath in the description and the comment section. Hopefully I will be able to do a full reading with these next month, so yes, super excited. Okay. So I'm just going to give you an opportunity to think about a personal question that might not have come up in the main spread, Pisces, okay? So put some focus on that for me now. If you're new to the channel, we will talk about your personal question and reveal the cards in the extended reading. The link for that is in the description box and the comment section underneath. And it's a way just to support me so that I can continue to show up every month with the free readings, and also gives you another 25 minutes of insight into your month ahead. So if the reading's resonating, I really appreciate you joining me. Okay, just clarifying this main spread now. So beginning with the World, we have the Six of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. We have the energy of Justice coming in here with the Hierophant, Page of Swords, Empress energy, beautiful. Ace of Cups here, lovely. Nine of Wands. Three of Wands. And the Fool, beautiful. Two of Pentacles. And another Hierophant coming through here. Eight of Pentacles. You're going to be busy this month. All the decks that I use, Pisces, are also listed underneath the video, okay? Four of Pentacles here. The Lovers. Okay, Seven of Pentacles. Another Eight of Wands, Eight of Swords, Queen of Cups here, and the Hanged Man. Okay, gonna leave it there, Pisces. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're joining me for the extended, I'll see you there. You take care. Have a beautiful month of June.